Really?
Because it's so dry at the moment. Um, very dry at the moment, and this is the time of the year where animals could potentially die of starvation or a loss of water or something like that. So yeah, so this area was actually closed off for the last 2 days. No one could drive here because they were doing investigations just to try and figure out why the rhino died and if they can like figure out a cause for the death. And they also would have come in and cut off the horns because someone can someone can come and steal the horns.
So this happened quite a days ago.
Probably about 2 days ago, yeah.
So you knew it.
I didn't know, they just closed that this area was closed off for driving. We couldn't drive here, but they didn't give us any information because it's obviously an investigation, so they can't give out too much information about what's going on. And now that the investigation is over, we are now allowed to come to the scene, and that's why you'll see how the ribs are nicely placed there, and there's some skin as well. So they were doing investigations just to try and figure out exactly what happened or if it was illegal or natural. Obviously quite an emotional sight because rhinos are quite endangered at the moment, and it's sad to lose one, but it is essentially the circle of life. That is how it is. It's never an easy thing to witness, especially not an animal that's as endangered as a rhino.
How old do you think it was?
The rhino, it doesn't even look like it was a complete adult. By the looks of it, maybe like a sub-adult. I would say maybe like 10 years old or so. But obviously we can't really see it that nicely. Yeah, not an easy sight, but at least this rhino is going to feed loads of other animals. It's not just going to die and go to waste. And there is apparently 3 male lions here. I'm not sure where the third one is.
Maybe this was the lions yesterday was eating?
I don't think so. I don't think so. If they were eating this already yesterday, they wouldn't have left. They will stay here to protect the food. Because if they leave, like if the hyenas comes here first, if there's a lot of hyenas, it might be a little bit more difficult for the lions to get in here. But luckily, because it's male lions, they would have most likely just chased the hyenas off. A hyena's biggest fear is a male lion.
And the investigator.
But then you'll definitely have people like the anti-poaching units that will also come with, and it might also be like a bit of a learning experience for them.
And they do like a biopsy, I guess.
And that's why they cut the skin off and put all the ribs and stuff in a row like that. It looks like they've cut into the vital organs as well, just to see if there was maybe like a disease, or just to try and figure out.
The liver, you say?
Yes, yeah, it looks like the liver and even the lungs, just to do a bit of investigation and try and figure out what the cause was. But because it's this time of the year, it was most likely natural.
Yeah.
If it was an animal that was illegally killed for its horn, then the horn wouldn't have been removed so nicely.
Exactly.
If it was illegal, they do it in an incredibly inhumane, exactly, it looks really bad. So that's also what I think led these investigators to believe that it was natural.
At the first glance, I thought it was a baby rhino we saw, and I started to
Oh, No, luckily not. And that is where it gets quite tough. If you maybe see like a baby animal and then all of a sudden you see it being eaten by predators, it does really get quite challenging. But it is of course nature, and
Yeah.
it is a very unforgiving environment.
And they will inform you why they died? I mean, you will know later?
Hopefully we'll get some information. If it is something specific, I think if it's just because it was dry and there wasn't enough food and water, then there's obviously not too much to say about it. Yo. Opa. That is some serious power, guys.
Oops.
They eat grass, right? And there's a plenty of
Hippos
grass.
only eat grass.
There's a plenty of grass.
Yeah, there is plenty of grass, but it's also not. There's not lots of nutrients
Okay.
in the grass. Remember, the grass is very brown, very dry. So not too much nutrients. You can come in here where I am.
And yesterday I was watching lions killing elephants before you go to sleep.
Wildebeests.